Hey guys, Dany and I are very excited to talk about the new Star Wars movie, Solo. Uh, we have a lot to say, so join us.
Yeah, join us. I'm super excited.
There's going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, we'll warn you before we get into the spoilers, but it's going to be general conversation about the movie.
It's a review discussion.
Before we get into it, just a quick heads up, we're giving away a Deadpool comic at the end, so keep watching to find out how. Why are we giving you a Deadpool comic and a Star Wars review? This is a good question. I don't know. But and then we're going to announce the winners of the Ready Player One competition, if you guys remember the movie. I think it's out of theaters, but...
this is a beautiful, like, Bluetooth
it's very
time
nice.
box.
It's very nice.
You need this in your house.
So, yeah, stick around. Solo. Dany, you kick us off. What did you think of Solo?
I fucking hated Solo.
Get into it.
And the thing is, I never want to be that Star Wars fan who gets too picky. I don't like Star Wars fandom in general because... I am a Star Wars fan, but I find Star Wars fans a bit too nitpicky. Who they tend to become man-childs about Star Wars. But this movie generally was just a cash grab, and it was Disney just doing too much. And we were worried about superhero fatigue, and I think
Star Wars
fatigue happened.
Yeah, before
this movie, from the first scene to the last scene, like from the first frame, I was not into it. I didn't feel any of those feelings, and it's too soon. I just got out of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it
feels too soon. Everything feels too soon, and even I don't know. I didn't dig it. It has a lot of issues as a movie. It's just not only that it's not a Star Wars movie to me. It's just it has too many issues.
I think from the beginning, if you get into it, I think this is a movie that never should have existed. As soon as they announced a Han Solo prequel Solo film, I was worried and I was concerned because you can't replace Harrison Ford. Like I have a few comics here as reference. You're not going to see anything, but like if you see this is Han Solo right here, this is him right here. He always looks like Harrison Ford. If you play any Star Wars video game, he always looks like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is as much a part of Han Solo as the character and like the words that are in the script. So it was already asking a lot of the audience and I think of the actor Alden Ehrenreich to, here you go, be the new Harrison Ford and be the new Han Solo. It's not that simple. And I think Alden did a pretty decent job given the material. I don't think any actor could have been a new Han Solo. It's just asking too much. And I think you get into murky waters once... I think Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, and Leia, played by Carrie Fisher, and Luke, played by Mark Hamill, should be untouched forever.
That's why I enjoy them, moving forward with new characters.
Exactly.
Because we have the old school guys. And the thing is, with filmmaking, and, you need to create something original. And this whole movie is just a series of references to old, thinly written... lore. I mean, sure, they took a lot from the extended universe.
Yeah, a few references here and there.
But mainly, it's like, if Han referenced something in one of the old movies, they just show you the whole scene.
Yeah. They're answering questions no one wanted answered, basically.
Yeah.
How did he get his pistol? They literally showed us how he got his last name, which I found to be horrendous. Again, minor spoiler. An Imperial guard literally gives Han his last name. He asks him, "What's your last name?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm alone. I've always been alone." So the guy's like, Solo. I was like, that's how he fucking got his name.
And now this is the name he's running with for the
rest of his life. It was given to him by an
like
Imperial
some
guard.
Asshole.
Yeah.
And he hates the Empire, so I don't know why he stuck to that name.
So like that's horrible. And like so I kind of mentioned at first I was against this movie from the beginning. And the one thing that kind of gave me hope for this film was it was going to be directed by Chris Lord and Phil Miller, one of Lord and Miller. They directed a Lego movie, 21 Jump Street. They're really funny. That was the only thing that gave me a nugget of hope that like, okay, you know what, this could be cool. It could be funny. It could be different. They got fired 2 weeks before principal photography ended. Then they brought in Ron Howard. And the movie just feels really, really bland.
It's a vanilla movie.
It's so bland. It's so mechanical. Like, is it a bad movie? I can't say it's bad. It's very competently made. In terms of like direction, the acting is fine. Just nothing stands out really.
look what Marvel are doing with their movies. I mean, Kevin Feige is a really smart man. What he did is he brought, like, Thor was a dying franchise, right? So you bring in Taika Waititi.
So LC Waikiki.
LC Waikiki. You got him. Mabruk, guys. Okay. So Taika Waititi, right? You bring him in and you mix up the Thor movies. They brought in Lord and Miller, and then they got him out. They got Ron Howard, the most generic. I mean, no offense to Ron Howard, he's done some good movies.
Yes,
the guy's a vanilla director.
Yeah, it's like a grandpa.
Yeah,
good old Grandpa Howard came into.
And he approached this movie in the most like classic, generic way possible, and the movie feels like that. It's just slapped on together with these thinly written characters, and it's too quick.
A bunch of characters show up that you don't give a shit about them. Like Thandie Newton's character, who plays what's his name, Beckett's girlfriend or something. Val. Yeah. She's horrible. She dies pretty early on before you even get a chance to like her. There's an alien character who's voiced by Jon Favreau. He's part of like Woody Harrelson's team.
Yeah, she's on the poster too.
She's on the poster. They both die really quickly, and there's almost no emotion. Like, he doesn't give a shit once they're dead.
The problem with the movie is that it's just going from set piece to set piece. It just wants to introduce all these things from the lore, like how he got his gun, how he learned how to shoot, how he drove the Millennium Falcon, and it's just not interested in depth, not interested in story. No characters expanded upon. Like the whole Woody Harrelson plays like a kind of a father type figure. Yeah. Nothing. They're just going along. His girlfriend dies. He doesn't care. We're moving along to the next set piece. It's just a mess. It's like a fake Star Wars movie.
It felt very empty. It looked like a Star Wars movie. It kind of sounded like a Star Wars movie, but it didn't really feel like... I mean, why should we really care? And I have a problem with these prequels. Like, I'm not a fan of Rogue One either. I think Rogue One was really boring and really pointless. Who cares about how they got the plans to the Death Star? Again, who cares about this? Who was asking for this?
It sounds like a parody. You know, as much I didn't mind Rogue One, but the story sounds like a parody.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get the plans? Who gives a fuck? Like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how, Luke constructed his first lightsaber.
Exactly.
I don't care about any of this because we shouldn't care about any of this. We should care about bigger storylines, new characters, the Old Republic, shit like that. Like something that takes this storyline into new, frontiers.
And the Star Wars universe is huge. Like, they could literally go anywhere, create any new characters, but they're playing it really safe. It's like they're really scared to take that step to for new stuff. Like
now, they announced the Boba Fett movie. Directed by Mangold.
James Mangold. Look, like if you're gonna get anyone to direct a Boba Fett movie, I guess bring the guy that made Logan.
R-rated Boba Fett movie?
But I don't know. Yeah, like what's cool about Boba Fett is that you don't know much about him. He's very mysterious. He just looked very cool.
Stay like that.
He should stay like that. Once you give him a prequel, he's less cool. Same with Solo. He was cool because he was this reluctant hero who never really wanted to get into it, and he was always kind of reluctant.
Yeah, like in the original trilogy, we meet Han Solo, who's a roguelike character who doesn't want to be a hero, and throughout the movies, he changes his mind and becomes the hero reluctantly. This movie has the same storyline, so it's like he went through it before.
Yeah, it makes it less special when you watch
every couple of days. He goes through I don't want to be a hero, but you're a hero. Believe me,
you're the good guy.
Yeah,
and like the ending again. Spoiler: the ending of the movie basically suggests that Han Solo's good deeds end up funding the rebellion.
Which is insane. I mean, this is where I get my Star Wars fanboy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. The guy never wanted anything to do with the rebellion. He's a rogue. He doesn't care about anybody. Why he helped fund the rebellion?
And it takes away from the dramatic moment in A New Hope when he shows back up at the end to help everyone. Like, you're kind of fucking with that moment by shoehorning these elements into this prequel that no one asked for.
And the movie didn't need that moment. Like, as a scriptwriter, it didn't need you to link it back. It could have been he helped some pirates. We think we're going to do some good stuff with the money. We'll see. Hint to the rebellion. But not like, we're forming the rebellion. Do you want to be part of it?
The movie isn't all bad. I really like Chewbacca in the film. Yeah, and the Chewbacca, Chewie, and Han moments were cute.
If it was a comedy, if it was like an action comedy through and through.
That's what I thought Lord and Miller were going to do.
It didn't need all the references. But I feel that Lord and Miller were doing that and
it made them nervous.
What's her name?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy came in. She's like, hold up, that's
Yeah.
not. The fans want to see how he won the sabacc game.
Yeah, oh my God.
How bad was that?
That was really boring. Like, you have a card game that's really not interesting. Like, just because they referenced it in the old movies, we don't need to see the sabacc. Donald Glover was great as Lando. Again, standout. Everyone's calling him
they
great.
Might give him. I feel a Lando movie coming.
Yeah, like, again, we don't need a Lando movie. Like, honestly, the only prequel I was ever excited to see was the Obi-Wan prequels.
I mean,
I would
they
love
hinted
to
to it.
And they hint to it in a very sort of heavy-handed, and I don't like the timeline. Should we get into it?
Yeah. They show up Darth Maul. at
Yeah.
the end. So Darth Maul is this gangster, and he's working with Khaleesi.
With Khaleesi
Kira.
For some reason. I don't know what they're working
She's
on.
part of a gang for some reason.
Yeah, but like from what I understood,
our whole crew is bored. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine watching this movie. Look, they're falling asleep.
it's really uninteresting. It's really
So Darth Maul is back, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
I love Darth Maul. I jolted out of my seat, but it's just like, how is there going to be a Solo too? He can't see a Force user before.
yeah, no,
Solo
Solo
can't do anymore.
They
Khalas.
shouldn't interact. Like I would have loved to be excited when you saw Darth Maul, but the thing is, I started thinking timeline wise.
By the way, Darth Maul opens his lightsaber
For no reason. No
just
reason.
to have a light sword, like, you know?
I think it's for people who don't recognize
Yeah,
him.
he stands up. He's like, "We have a lot of work to do." I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
because no one would have.
You're alone in the room.
For the people who wouldn't recognize him,
like-
it's like, oh, it's that guy with the two lightsabers.
Yeah.
It's just for like
'Cause
casual
imagine
people.
him like after he ended transmissions, like
puts it back.
puts it back.
It's
It's idiotic.
It was weird to me because that suggests that the Obi-Wan prequel is going to take place when Obi-Wan is really
between
old.
Solo and A
A
New
New
Hope.
Hope. So that means, is Obi-Wan going to be an old person makeup and is going to be 70 years old
already
or
fucked that
something?
up.
Like,
The timeline is fucked.
yeah.
Because Chewie said he was
190.
190, and he's 200.
Yeah.
and,
So it could be 10 years prior, but still, like, he's still going to be very old. I'm not all into that.
in conclusion, I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there. Some of them hate it. Some of them love it because they think that we need to see the sabacc game. I believe as a fan, some things are left as part of the lore that are more interesting to be left as stories rather than to see everything.
Yeah.
Like, I want to give a good example. John Wick, right? In the first John Wick, we hear a story about John Wick killing a bunch of dudes with a pencil, right? And it's like a legendary story. They mentioned it again in John Wick 2. They never show us that story.
Yeah.
But by the end of John Wick 2, he's in a fight and he gets a pencil and he kills a guy with a pencil.
Yeah.
So it's a cool reference to the lore. But it's not like, do you want to see how John Wick killed the guy with a pencil?
Exactly.
You can do callbacks to the lore. You
Yeah.
can show a sabacc game. You can do that, but not just show me A to
Yeah,
Z.
like, we don't need a 30-minute sequence for the Kessel Run, which everyone knows.
And that run, it felt like 10 years.
Exactly.
It felt like the longest action scene that, and that robot, L3.
L3 was really
is the most
obnoxious.
annoying
Yeah.
robot.
They really tried, because K2SO was a standout in Rogue One. Everyone liked the sarcastic robot, but
Yeah.
they went so far beyond with L3 that I found her very obnoxious. Some people are really digging her, and they think like she's their favorite character. To me, she was one of the worst characters in
Everybody
the
was
movie.
so bland. I mean, I'm sure Donald Glover and
Donald Glover
I'm
and
sure
Chewie.
BuzzFeed is like somebody in BuzzFeed. Like, we need the Donald Glover
Yeah,
L3 movie.
yeah, exactly. And it's already happening. A couple more notes. Disney, we get it that you're progressive and we want to see more female protagonists, but do they all need to be bland white British ladies? We already have 3 of them.
I feel this
Like-
whole like, I'm all for diversity and I believe that all races
Yeah.
can be represented.
But they're
properly.
forcing it and it's not
But
organic.
They're forcing it in such a weird way. Like, it's just that they put Val, who's like, you know, who's a beautiful black woman with an afro, but then she's killed in one scene.
Yeah, like-
and they put her on the poster. And I understand that they put her on the poster from a financial point of view. They want to show like, look how diverse our cast is. But the character is treated like shit.
Yeah.
She dies in 2 minutes. She's not well represented at all. Instead of doing this, give me a proper African American or African character that has.
It feels like a product slapped together by a bunch of executives. This isn't a movie that needed to exist. This isn't a movie anyone asked for. It just felt slapped together, packaged together, thrown in because they need to have one Star Wars movie every single year. It's just an assembly line at this point. Marvel, you could argue, does the same, but at least their movies have a purpose.
They're trying.
They're entertaining. This was very soulless. The villain, Paul Bettany as the villain has 2 scenes. Who gives a shit? I can't say I'm disappointed with the film because I didn't give a shit about it going in, and I rarely go into movies wanting to dislike them, but this is one where I really wanted to not enjoy it, and that's unfair to the movie, and I shouldn't feel that way, but I did. I hated it less than I thought I would, but I think I'm way more wary of Star Wars movies moving forward. I really think they need to mix something up in the movies that they're greenlighting.
I think these movies should be for like streaming once Disney
gets a streaming
their own
service.
streaming service. I think these movies should be like small streamables.
Or comics. Like they have comics, they have novels. They drop like 6 Star Wars novels every year. This story could have easily been told in a few comics in 1 book. It doesn't need to be.
And it's derivative as all hell. Like,
and again, I feel bad for Alden Ehrenreich. It's not his fault. Again, no one should have been asked.
he's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine, but like, no one should have been given that responsibility. And just that final point about how important the actor is to the role. Like one of the most memorable lines that Han Solo ever says is in Empire Strikes Back when Leia tells him, "I love you," and he says, "I know." That wasn't in the script. That was Harrison Ford improvising. And that just goes to show you that you can't just replace these people. Leave some characters are better left alone. Just don't fuck with them. You don't need to recast them. You don't need to you can make $1 billion. Put anything on the poster and slap Star Wars on it. It'll make $1 billion.
Make new characters.
New characters, anything. Don't fuck with the old characters anymore. Just give us new stuff. I'm glad that Rian Johnson is working on his own trilogy. I'm glad that Benioff and Weiss from Game of Thrones are working on their own series of movies.
I hope that's R-rated though.
I hope so. With Disney, it might be hard. So we're done. If you guys want to win this Deadpool comic book, just leave any comment, random. We'll pick something at random. We're gonna put the winner names on the screen for the guys who won the Ready Player One stuff. So congratulations. Thank you for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Contact us to see how you can pick it up. And
hit us up. Dany, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah. Sorry for the downer, guys, but like, we're kind of tired of these movies.
The Megan.